Boo! Welcome to my first walk and talk. Now, I'm clearly getting in the mood for Halloween and the spooky month. And you know what's actually really scary? Retirement. What's even more scarier than that? Retiring with like no money, no savings plan, nothing. And that was a big thing that was weighing on my mind at the beginning of this year, way before the pandemic and everything like that, was retirement, because we know that is coming, and that is the thing that you have to prepare for. You have to be kind of a prepper. Unlike a prepper where they're prepping for a certain scenario, we all know retirement is gonna be happening, right? So while I'm walking through the lovely bushy park here, I'm going to be telling you why I'm joining the FIRE movement and why I think it's a great idea to do it sensibly and rationally. So first off, for those who don't know, what is FIRE? Well, it stands for Financially Independent Retiring Early. Now, it sounds a bit new aged, hippie and a millennial cult kind of idea, but it's actually been around for centuries. Probably about 5 minutes after the word work was invented, someone thought, if I store up enough money, I'll be able to retire early and get out of work. So the concept isn't actually very new, it's just that it's become very popular over the years. This place is so pretty. But is retiring early possible? Yes. Imagine if you won £1 million on the lottery. You could retire the next day. Okay, we're not actually suggesting to win the lottery in this. This was just an example, an extreme example, but it shows you that it is possible. There are 3 main methods that most people use to become financially independent. Number 1, stocks, shares and dividends and all that stuff, right? That's where you put money in and it grows over time with the use of compound interest. Number 2, you have a property rental thing going on the side type thing, where the renters you bring in a certain income every month. And number 3, you start your own business or a side hustle that gains you enough money to retire early. And there's probably others out there if you see, but those are the main 3. This is what I love about coming to Bushy Park, is you find random little things, like little really cute things like this, which is brilliant. So after doing some research, I've found out not only is it theoretically possible, it is actually achievable within my own lifetime. And what method am I going to choose? Well, I'm going with stocks, shares, and all that kind of dividend good stuff. Why? Well, to be honest, it's the one that requires the least amount of effort on my part. The other 2, if you think about it, if you own a property, just one, you're going to have to go round and do the maintenance, you're going to have to do lots of stuff, there's lots of tax implications, and you're going to have to deal with the tenants. If the boiler breaks down, you're going to have to deal with it. And same for a business, that's also another tax headache. And that's like you have to be generating invoices, and you're going to have to buy extra stock, or you're going to have to go around a customer's house, or you're going to have to deliver pizzas on the weekend, or whatever the side hustle is. I mean, I'm going to be doing a side hustle, but it's going to be fun side hustles. But the main way I'm going to be achieving this is through stocks and shares, because all you have to do is hand your excess money over to the broker, and they go and they invest it in wise, diversified stock portfolios, and over time the compound interest of that makes your pension fund. And I can do a whole video on that later on, because that's there's certain tax advantages in the UK that actually help people go on. Like if I told you could make 25% extra on your savings, you'd be like, Paul, you're crazy. And I'd be like, no, it's true. But also during my research, I found out that there are a few assumptions about the FIRE movement. Number one, you hate your job and you're only doing this to get out of work early. Well, that's not true in my case, at least, because I love my job. It is a dream job and the industry I'm in is fantastic. I mean, for me, just imagine how better you would be at your job if you had no mortgage to worry about, if your financial freedom was there, that your retirement was taken care of. Like you have less stress in your life, you have less worries because you have less big bills to pay. Like, that is amazing. You can go to work feeling like I am here to enjoy myself and have a good time. I don't actually need the money. It is now just a benefit and keeping me going for like living and holidays and everything like that. Arts and crafts material, new cameras and joyous things like that. And you could see that I'm really passionate about this. This is why you come to Bushy Park, because look, that's an amazing background compared to like my normal white background where I'm shooting at you. And yeah, this could be like my main point of place to do this, because this looks brilliant at the moment, this shot. But anyway, going back on point, and just keeping an eye on that. You may have to bail from this position. Right, so I'm gonna leave these guys to it because I'm quite scared that they're gonna ram me and then suddenly I'll be on like some weird camera show. The number two assumption is that you're greedy and you're just doing this for your own selfishness and yada 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 finger pointing. And there is some element of truth in that. I mean, yeah, we are kind of being selfish looking after number one, but if you think about the greater picture as well, if I've got enough in retirement that I don't need a state pension, well then that's one less person in the future who's needing that government funding, right? And also, how dare you assume I'm just doing this all for the money and keeping all the money to myself? My actual game plan is to have enough money where I am self-sufficient on my own private pension funds that I don't actually need that government check, and that government check can go out to helping others who are in much more desperate need and just giving more in general. I mean, if you have a surplus of stuff, then you don't actually need the help. And I've just seen a heron here. I thought that was fake. That is real. It just moved. There he goes. There he goes. It wasn't a statue. I'm not crazy. It wasn't a statue, guys. Good. Woo. Look at him. He's just hanging out waiting for a fish. But now we're going to say goodbye to Mr. Heron and go back to that point where it's not all about greed. You can be quite charitable, especially at the end. Just waiting for the helicopter. Helicopter has gone. Let's go. Another assumption that people make is like, oh no, I can't possibly do it. I financially cannot afford to do something as crazy as this, said the man who leases a car every 2 years. Like, a brand new vehicle leased is roughly around about £200-300, and studies show if you put that money in your average performing pension pot for 30 years, you would have something crazy like £1 to £3 million, depending on what you invested in and how aggressive you were. Like, that's insane. Like, I really hope you enjoy the car because it's costing you millions of pounds. And the younger you are, the better this is. The easier it is as well, because you only need to invest less per month than someone older like me. Like, I've really got to gun it. Well, I've got to get around about £200-300 a month, which is a car lease. So yeah, I will not be getting a car fleece. So the battery on my new camera is actually running out, and I haven't ordered new batteries. That will be in the budget for next month. So if it does die, I'm gonna have to finish up this video later on. Another assumption that people make about the FIRE movement is that you'll never be allowed to go on holiday, you're not allowed out with your mates, and you're not allowed the finest things in life because you've got to scrimp, save, and claw every penny you can to get to your financial number. Now, that's true if you took it to the extreme. But I'm not doing that. I'm going to be doing the moderate version, because if you think about it, this camera that I'm talking to you on is a Sony ZV-1 camera with a Rhodes mic. Now, that costs around about £700 all in, and that goes against the FIRE movement. However, if you've budgeted for it, it's fine, because it's in the budget, you saved up for it, you paid cash for it, and you're enjoying it. So it's to spend money on things that you like. So yeah, I'm not sure where I'll end up with this or how far I will get, but I'm going to give it a whirl, because at the end of the day, it is no bad thing to have a pension pot in place. And you know, what's the harm? What is the harm of trying to do this? Apart from, you know, missing out on holidays, not having the new iPhone 12, and leasing a brand new Mercedes or BMW or whatever's in fashion. I'm not really a car guy, as you can tell. How awesome is that? Another assumption is I can't do this. Like, it's just not financially possible. Oh, it came off.